Now, more of Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Opportunity Project, the only show directly addressing the problems and solutions for Illinois. Now, from AM 560, here's Dan Proft.
Welcome back to Illinois Rising. I'm Pat Hughes, filling in for the great Dan Proft. Joining me on this program is Brian Timponi. And Brian, Democrats are hot for a progressive income tax, which was killed a couple of years ago by some courageous legislators by the great work of the Illinois Policy Institute and Illinois Policy, what was then called Illinois Policy Action. And the progressive tax was killed, but it's a topic of electoral topic, right? Because everyone in the Democratic primary, and we're talking about the major people right here, right? Pritzker, Kennedy, and Biss have all said they're in support of a progressive income tax. Why? Well, they're trying to appeal to the left wing of their base, and they want to, play class warfare. I'm not going to tax you. I'm going to tax somebody else, right? That's a real popular thing, right? I'm not going to take anything from you. I'm going to take something away from rich people. So State Representative Rob Martwick, who's a Democrat out of Chicago, has introduced a bill that already shows that if there's a progressive tax, everybody, just about everybody, is going to feel it. So why don't you take the listeners through that bill and why it's standard bait and switch Democrat politics.
Yeah, right. So the rates that Martwick is proposing, 4% for your income up to $7,500, 5.84% if it's for your income $7,500 to $15,000, 6.27% $15,000 to $225,000, and 7.65% above $225,000. Look, this is
the current rate is 4.95.
4.95. This is, more. Everyone will pay more, but this is just a way for them to change the system so that they can continue to hike taxes on the wealthiest people in Illinois, which sounds great as a populist move to people who are not among the wealthiest. But at the end of the day, these are the employers. These are the investors, and when they leave, we're stuck with people who aren't.
Well, the other issue is that they're claiming, right, that they're going to fill a particular budget hole, right, with the revenue that comes from the taxes, right? And there's two things that are obviously wrong with that. And the first one is what you just touched on. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the Laffer curve, but at some point, you're not going to get the revenue from the tax rate because people are going to leave. They're going to disinvest. This happens all the time, right? And so ultimately what then ends up happening is there's not enough revenue from the projected people because of the economic consequences. I mean, no one's forced to be here, right? They can leave. Just like we talked about with Josh Griffith. They can go to Missouri. They can go to Iowa. And so they can leave. And so there's not enough money to cover their promise. So ultimately what always happens in these circumstances, it's not that the rich get taxed more. Everybody gets taxed more. Under Martwick's plan, if on your income earned from $15,000 to $225,000, and that's a huge range, Brian. I mean, you're talking about people who make $50,000, $60,000 working, and all the way up to people making really big money.
$20,000.
Right, $20,000, right? That's 6.27%. That's way higher than the 4.95% that we just got raked just this past summer.
But there's another element to this that we should consider. Robert Martwick is a property tax appeals attorney. Let's be clear. In Cook County, we have property classification, and we have this rigged system that requires you to hire an attorney to appeal your taxes. The reason we have that is because the system is set up so that they give you a punitive property tax bill, and you have to hire someone to fix it. It's a way for people to have to rely on the political system, the bipartisan combine, to help them, and that's how they earn a living. What they're doing here is the same exact thing for income taxes. They are going to, this is where it starts. They will have all kinds of carve-outs for different groups, and what they'll do is they'll help their friends and they'll hurt their enemies, and they'll force us to hire income tax appeals attorneys next, which is inevitable.
Right, and so what we're learning through the process is people live their lives every day. They're busy. They have kids. They have jobs. They have parents who are getting older or who are sick. They have struggles like we all do, right? And it's hard for them to pay too close attention to the details of what a politician is proposing, right? And what's really being proposed here by Martwick and by others, ultimately Pritzker, Kennedy, and Biss, is a wolf in sheep's clothing. But if it's packaged in a certain ad, if it's packaged a certain way, then it's sellable because all you're hearing is, hey, the rich are going to pay more more. That'll make my life easier, even though your life is actually getting harder. And nothing proves that more, Brian, than the tax and spend, both at the income and property tax and corporate tax level, that the state has done for the 20 years and looking at where we are. But it also tells you about campaigning, right? And how contemptuous these politicians feel about the voters. And the best example of that is the Jeannie Ives Bruce Rauner race, where Bruce Rauner is spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to say that Jeannie Ives is somehow a Madigan lackey, and the connection is she got some money from an operators union, $6,000 or something like that, whatever the number was, but he doesn't care. And when Kennedy and Biss and Pritzker talk about progressive taxes, even though people are going to get screwed more than they already are, they don't care. They just keep on going.
Right. It's just ultimately about control. I mean, those ads that Rauner is running, it's like saying Michael Jordan doesn't know how to play basketball. I mean, it's literally that fictitious, but hey, he's got the money to buy the ads. The TV stations will take the money for their commercials. And why is he doing it? Why would somebody be so disingenuous? Why would someone lie so openly? Because they want control. They want power. And look, that's what this progressive income tax ultimately is about too. They want another lever for control, for power over you. A flat tax limits that. They can't be punitive to their enemies. And that's what it's really about. Rob Martwick, Michael Madigan, Bruce Rauner, they're all cut from the same cloth.